It is Fox Sports Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
This is the Fox Sports Sunday 2016 NFL Mock Draft.
Welcome to the NFL, baby. Let's go to work.
On Fox Sports Radio.
Welcome in, everybody, to the mock draft. And when we mean mock, we mean mock. He's Mike Harmon. I'm Dan Beyer. Isaac Lowenkron, our correspondent, is on the draft floor. For the next 2 hours, we bring you some of the worst picks in NFL draft history. What a day it's going to be, Mike.
Oh, I'm so excited. We've been doing our due diligence, reviewing the draft order and trying to determine exactly what we're going to see today. The worst of the worst, the things that make your stomach churn, that make your head hurt, that cause you sleepless nights and anxious moments. Maybe every once in a while you're not so kind to your family because you're thinking about what your team has done to you your entire life.
We will relive that pain over and over again for some of these franchises. Again, when we say mock, we are going to mock. You will not hear Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Ezekiel Elliott, Jalen Ramsey, Joey Bosa, Laremy Tunsil. You will not hear any of those names today, but you will hear some very familiar names from the past. Let's dive right into it. The 2016 NFL draft order will be reminiscent of what we are doing here. It's pretty much the same, okay? We are using the same exact draft order that the NFL would use on Thursday for our NFL mock draft, okay? And so for the next, there will be 32 picks, by the way, even though the Patriots aren't picking on Thursday night because they had their pick taken away into Deflategate. We will be doing a Patriots pick. So there will be 32 selections in our NFL mock draft. And let's just start out right away, Mike Harmon, with a team that's on the clock, the LA Rams. Much of the time where we could mock them, they were in St. Louis for the last 21 years or so, and in LA prior to that. But the Rams, when you think about their draft history, not necessarily one of the strongest that we have seen in recent years.
No, we've seen a lot of floundering, right? They haven't found that speed receiver. They may have it in Tavon Austin, but we haven't seen the Rams able to build the stable of receivers you need to compete in this day and age. The offensive line has gone through issues, and as much as they've had a strong front seven, it's gone wasted because they haven't had the playmakers.
Oh, wait, okay. Okay, we've heard the likes of Jason Smith, not your radio partner. He was drafted by the Rams. But you heard that little sounder. That means the pick is in. Could it be Jason Smith of Baylor, who the Rams took second overall, as the Rams pick in our mock draft? Let's go to the podium where we've got the commish, Roger Goodell.
With the first pick, the St. Louis Rams select Sam Bradford,
quarterback. Oh, boy. There you go, right off the front.
Sam Bradford. Should we be surprised? No longer a member of the Rams, Sam Bradford, throughout his career, has thrown 78 touchdowns to go along with 52 interceptions. But his time in St. Louis, rookie season, 18 touchdown passes, 15 picks. Ended up playing only in 10 games in the 2011 season, 7 more in 2013 after tearing his ACL. And then, Sam Bradford, the first overall pick in the NFL mock draft. When you pick a franchise quarterback, okay, and when you're the Rams and you pick a guy who entered the draft because I think a lot of people knew the rookie salaries were going to change, so a lot of people went into the 2010 draft. When the St. Louis Rams were on the clock, they needed a quarterback. It took Sam Bradford. It did not work out for him, Mike Harmon.
No, you had to. I mean, coming off a big injury in college, some question marks as to the durability, his ability to stay up in the pocket. Now, obviously, we mentioned it already, not exactly helped by the way the offensive line had been, well, it was turnstile city there in St. Louis for a while in terms of getting after Sam Bradford. Never able to really string together too much help. Season of health, I should say.
Sure.
He had one run, and that's the thing that you keep clinging to, and that's his NFL lifeline as you go back to when he did have a half a season of good health, put up solid numbers as the NFL was changing to a pass-happy entity that it is today. But certainly one of those what-if scenarios for Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford has played 5 NFL seasons and only twice has played 16 games. So when you've got a first overall pick, you're hoping that the guy is going to be a franchise staple for years and years. That was not the case. Injury prone, didn't have much success. Better second half of the year for the Philadelphia Eagles, but that does not help the Rams whatsoever because he just wasn't good in St. Louis.
No consolation coming out of that. Certainly, you remember the trade of draft pick. And what did you get for it? You got Nick Foles, who is probably going to be ushered out the door as well.
Yes, that's the case. Rams have their own issues to deal with. Sam Bradford was one they had to deal with for 5 seasons, and it didn't work out for him. So first off the board, Sam Bradford goes in our NFL mock draft to the Rams. Now, second on the clock, the Philadelphia Eagles. And Mike Harmon, when you think back on the Eagles in the selections that they have had, they really haven't picked early in a lot of drafts. Most recent was 2013 when they picked Lane Johnson. Donovan McNabb, maybe the most notable in 1999, but that seemed to work out well for them, considering McNabb leads them to a Super Bowl. The commission's got the commission's got the card, but quickly before the commish, you can't really mock Donovan McNabb despite what T.O. and others tried to do. He was a great quarterback for the Eagles for years and years. So I think they got value of that number 2 pick.
Fixture for a long time, even though he was booed on draft day and issues and questions of the Super Bowl and conditioning and everything else. He was dominant, and what he and Andy Reid were able to do for those years in Philadelphia, still a hallmark for the NFC.
Let's go to the podium with the second pick, the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the pick to the Cleveland
Whoa!
Browns. With the pick in the draft, the Cleveland Browns select Johnny Manziel.
Oh my gosh!
Texas A&M.
Cleveland trades up to take Johnny Manziel in our NFL mock draft. Not surprising, Mike Harmon, considering that the Philadelphia Eagles, as we were looking at their picks in the past, really didn't have that many bad first-round picks. They always picked later. They were making the playoffs. Not much you could really take shots at. The Browns saw an opportunity, traded up in the draft to take Johnny Manziel.
Aggressiveness of the Browns. We suspect they're going to be very active today in trying to make sure that they go front and center and remind people exactly how horrid the franchise's lifelines have been through these years and what they've done in causing angst around the city. With Johnny Manziel, still don't know the NFL future. Still don't know if he wants to play. The fact that that's the statement coming out of his spokesperson while he celebrates with glow sticks at Coachella. If he needs help, hopefully he finds it. If he just wants to be a 23-year-old kid checking out what's going on with different musical acts and EDM, hopefully he finds that way too. Either way, the Browns getting no value.
How bad was Johnny Manziel for the Cleveland Browns? Well, in his rookie season, played in 5 games. Threw 35 passes, completed 18 of them. Also threw 0 touchdowns that rookie year and was picked off twice. And followed it up with a 2015 campaign with, I guess, missing practices, not being around. But when he did actually play on the field, threw 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, topped out with a quarterback rating of 79.4. And Johnny Manziel, by the way, no longer a member of the Cleveland Browns. So when you're not a member of the team 2 years after you were picked in the first round by that team, yeah, that's not good. That's why you are able to be mocked. So a huge, huge trade that just went down. Johnny Manziel, picked by the Browns, as the Browns traded up to get the Philadelphia Eagles' second pick. Were you shocked by that deal?
I didn't know that they'd go all the way up to number 2. But, I mean, you talk about the magnitude of this selection, what it's meant for the sports talk industry, for 800 to 1,000-word columns and 3 to 4 minute video hits and a lot of ranting and raving and people wishing, wanting, hoping for him to be a star. Why? Because he's, well, like Steph Curry in the NBA. He's undersized, right? He's the everyman, or he was supposed to be until he wasn't.
The San Diego Chargers are on the clock at number 3, and I believe that the pick is up. So 3rd overall in our NFL mock draft, the San Diego Chargers. Here's the commissioner with the pick.
The San Diego Chargers select quarterback, Washington State University, Ryan Leaf.
Whoa, there he
no
is.
surprise. Great to see Commissioner Paul Tagliabue here for our NFL mock draft here on Fox Sports Sunday. Arguably the worst pick ever in an NFL draft.
There's no question about it. To think that the number 1 versus number 2 debate in that particular draft was so hot and heavy, and to this day, whenever you really want to make yourself laugh, go back and read the draft analysis. Go back and watch the video clips of, is it Manning? Is it Ryan Leaf? Is it Manning? Is it Ryan Leaf? Go into the locker room. Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Go away! Those kind of reactions from Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf, by the way, won his first 2 games as a Chargers quarterback. That was the high point. They started out 2-0 in his rookie season in 1998, played in just 10 games that year. His stat line, 2 touchdowns, 15 interceptions for Ryan Leaf in his rookie year. Didn't play his second season because of a shoulder injury that he suffered in training camp. In the year 2000, Ryan Leaf threw 11 touchdowns and 18 interceptions, ending his time with the San Diego Chargers, as some feel is the worst draft pick of all time in the NFL draft. The Chargers taking Ryan Leaf in third at the 3rd overall pick in our NFL mock draft here on Fox Sports Sunday.
Where's the good job, good effort kid for that one?
The good job.
Good job. Good effort.
I don't even know if you could say for either of those.
No.
Bad job, bad effort. Bad attitude. Ryan Leaf with the hat trick. 4th on the board. 4th in our Fox Sports Sunday mock draft. The Dallas Cowboys. They'll be picking 4th Thursday in our mock draft. Yes, the Dallas Cowboys.
There we go.
The pick is in. Let's go to the commish.
The Dallas Cowboys select.
The Rocket looks for a hole. If he gets to the outside this time, he's gone. Goodbye. The Rocket delivers. The $1 Million Man provides cause for celebration among the Toronto Argonaut owners. An 87-yard kickoff return. Once he got outside of Junior Thurman, there is no way Mark McLaughlin was going to catch him.
There was no way Mark McLaughlin was going to be able to catch Rocket Ismail, and there was no way the Cowboys were going to be able to pick Rocket because he left for the CFL. It was the pick that wasn't. By the way, thanks to the CBC for that Grey Cup highlight from the early 90s. The Dallas Cowboys holding the number 1 overall pick in 1991, trading with the New England Patriots, unable to give Rocket Ismail the cash that he wanted. So he went to Toronto to play in the CFL.
And you know how pathetic this really was? The Cowboys not only don't get the pick, they bring him back at the end of his career when he's got nothing left, just so they can say they put him in the uniform.
Salt in the wounds, I guess, maybe of back in the day. They ended up taking Russell Maryland, who was a part of those Super Bowl teams along the defensive line, a Pro Bowler. But it was the pick that wasn't for the Dallas Cowboys, Rocket Ismail, going forward.
Just remember him coming out of college and all the hype and everything, because it became a big deal in the trading card world, because all of a sudden you had the CFL cards that had value because people were still excited because of his collegiate career. He had that big a fan base that carried over. And you think about the dollars that he got paid in the CFL at that point. Straight cash.
3 packs of Leaf, please. Speaking of Leaf, Ryan Leaf went 3rd to the Chargers, 2nd overall. Browns trade up to get Johnny Manziel. Sam Bradford, the first pick in our NFL mock draft. Pick 5 coming up with the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock.